Alright, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Yataz Hero Israel. I'd like to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mekakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Today we're going to in the news. Today is the 1st of July. Right, going to touch on the happenings in these latter days, right? Through the Spirit, right? Lord willing, you're edified. Giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mekakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So let's get right into it. Let's see what's going on right now, right? The current headlines, right? You have the so-called riots in France, right? Which we're not really necessarily concerned what is going on in France, right? Now this could be real or not, but our job is to watch and see what happens, right? But as far as what is going on in France, it's not necessarily something that ties in directly with prophecy. Now you're gonna have tumults of the people, you're gonna have division, right? But like I said, specifically, we're not sure what's going on there. There's no reason to speculate, right? Because Esau, right, the devil that the Bible speaks of, right, we're not gonna fall for all his snares, right? So our job is to just keep watch, keep an eye on what's going on in France, these riots, so-called, right? So here's supposedly rioters torching buildings and infrastructure. French President Macron said it's because of video games, right? So it just seems like too many videos are popping up and there's an agenda that's being pushed, right? So there's no need to watch that video. You've seen it right there. So July 1st is the end of the Rainbow Month, right? This is the pop from Pop Crave. In a 6-3 vote, the Supreme Court has officially ruled that businesses have the right to discriminate against LGBTQ plus Americans, right? So that is a loss for the rainbows, right? It's 19 hours ago, right, as they're closing in on their Rainbow Month. Right, next you have from the Insider paper, Trump greeted with massive cheers at Pat's King of Steaks in Philadelphia. Right, now listen to the video, right? Let's just take a look at it. Sounds like they're calling him Nero, right? Starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, right? We believe he is Nero reincarnated, right? He might get back in office or not, but we know something. We know he's going to play a key, a vital role in these latter days, just like Sleepy Creepy Joe, right? Which is Antiochus Epiphanes, right? So they're going to have a part in pushing more unrighteous decrees, right, which will be aimed at the men of the Lord, the servants of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Mekakwadash, and right. So let's just look at the video from the start. So, like they said, Great Millstone in the middle of that. But again, we're not going to speculate, right? We're just going to take a look at these videos and make these headlines known, right? So this is it's just a little something.
You see me, I eat, sleep, shit, and talk rap. You see that 9 a.m. Mercedes on TV, I bought that. I had some felony charges, I bought that. The sent to no return, but still was ball back. Niggas do some slaves, me water, I caught that. I punished them the bitches before they could call it. Now I'm looking for their family and partners to walk back. If I ain't a hot boy, then what did you call that? Niggas disrespect me, I'ma be in all black. Coming by some niggas about killing and all that. We go in Rusty and Duck Dog. Right top down, so we left the truck ball. We met G-Rock, 4 deep. I moved it up with these niggas claiming they know me. Huh? Hey, like it, hey, say. Put your hand like it, hey, say. Bitch, what? I'll bust your ass up. Won't even go that road because I'm ready to mess up. I heard about the money, that's some night change. For the right price, I'll bust the right brain. Or there's a nigga try, I can do the right thing. Only God knows.
So yeah, you know, Jake has a zeal, but right, not according to knowledge, but right. Let's touch back on these wildfires. This is from Concerned Citizen, right? I was quoting Romans chapter 10 and verse 1. This is from Concerned Citizen. Americans are being poisoned under the pretense of Canadian wildfires. Now, the latest Canadian wildfires are from Quebec, I believe they said. Right? And when I recently went to camp, I went in the midst of that haze of smoke, right? Which is it's still kind of lingering in here in Maryland, right? This is from David Vance. As France burns, Macron dances at the Elton John concert. Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Now he's not even considered remotely to be Nero, but that's a good point, right? As protesters are wreaking havoc, right? You have this Macron, right? One of their governors, one of their chief men of Esau, right? Dancing at an Elton John concert. No, I'm not going to click on that, but next headline says Rawls alerts. Breaking: a massive fire breaks out at Warner Brothers Studios. This is in Los Angeles, California. Right.
So our Warner Brothers tour was canceled because of fire.
Or it could be a ritual, right? Because you know there are many spirits in these latter days, right? Which I'm going to touch on in one of the Friends videos that I peeped at. Because if you look at, like, for example, the 9/11 towers falling, right, you see, like, in the smoke, certain images, right, which are spirits, right?
It looks like it's part of it.
Certain images.
Yeah, it's part of a movie, that's right, it's part.
Right. Because these are all rituals, distractions that Esau Edom
Looks like Warner Brothers is on fire.
pushes, right? Distractions, right, to get particular laws passed, right? Signs and wonders, right, which the Lord is doing, which could be through, on the left-hand side, the Esau Edom, right? Or it could be, right, via the chariots, the Lord himself. Right?
That fucked up. What the hell? Cocksucker. Yeah. Did you get the whole thing in your picture or what? No, it's too big. But it's a perfect fucking circle. It's too big. What about plano or something?
Right. This is from King.com. Sharing this nuclear war video is the most important thing you can do to prevent nuclear war. Thank you.
The aftermath might go something like this. When one side launches nuclear missiles, the other side detects them and fires back before impact.
Now this is what's going to happen, right? In the end times, meaning the end of one rulership, right? The beginning of Jacob's world, right? Or worlds, right? Plural, right? Because those that get delivered, those that are called and chosen, right, will receive that first dominion, like it says in the book of Micah, right? But this is what's written in the book of Second Esdras, book of Revelation, Isaiah, Jeremiah, right? These are the visions that the prophet saw, right? The stars of heaven falling. Not talking about fallen angels, talking about nuclear, the nuclear silos releasing the missiles throughout the earth. Like it says in the book of Second Esdras, fire will be often sent out in the time of the Lord's wrath, right? Now let's take a look
U.S. submarine-launched ballistic missiles from west of Norway start striking Russia after about 10 minutes. And Russian ones from north of Canada start hitting the U.S. a few minutes later. The very first strikes are high-altitude EMP attacks, frying electronics and power grids by creating an electromagnetic pulse of tens of thousands of volts per meter. The next strikes target command and control, as well as nuclear launch facilities. Land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles take about half an hour to arrive. Major cities are targeted, both because they contain military facilities and to stymie the enemy's post-war recovery. Some cruise missiles take hours to reach their target. Each impact creates a fireball about as hot as the core of the sun, followed by a radioactive mushroom cloud. These intense explosions vaporize people nearby and cause fires and blindness further away. The fireball expansion then causes a blast wave that damages buildings, crushing nearby ones. The United Kingdom and France have nuclear capability.
So that's what's going to happen, right? Those that fight against Jerusalem, right? Their eyes will consume away in their sockets and in their mouth, right? They're gonna disintegrate, right? All that practice, deceitfulness, wickedness, sorcery, the liar, the whoremonger, the effeminate, you're all gonna get that missile, right? Missiles.
And are obliged by NATO's Article 5 to defend the U.S. So Russia hits them too. Firestorms engulf many cities, where storm-level winds fan the flames, igniting anything that can burn.
And the Lord is already fighting for us because we know that these plagues, these so-called wildfires have to happen because, right? What comes to mind is Psalms 91, many will fall at thy side, but the place will not come nigh unto thee, right? So ultimately, one way or another, the Lord is going to preserve, right, his remnant, right? Although some will have to be martyred, meaning a martyr means you testified, you're a witness to something, right? That's all martyr means. A martyr is just Greek for witness, right? When you go into the Greek, it just means witness, right? But as for righteousness' sake, right? So let's keep watching.
Melting glass and some metals, and turning asphalt into flammable hot liquid. But the explosions, the electromagnetic pulse, and the radioactivity aren't the worst part. Nuclear winter is, caused by the black carbon smoke from the nuclear firestorms. The Hiroshima atomic bomb caused such a firestorm, but today's hydrogen bombs are much more powerful. A large city like Moscow, with almost 50 times more people, can create much more smoke. and a firestorm sends plumes of black smoke up into the stratosphere, far above.
That is why the scriptures say that the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Right? That's the day of the Lord. The ICBM missiles, the chariots. Right? So it's going to be like one of those Mission Impossible scenes, right? Where, right, they got certain military operations where they have it's called search and rescue. That's what the chariots are going to do with the remnant. They're going to search and rescue, right? But there's still the Lord is going to work a mighty work in these latter days, right? Because the angels are gonna hide us in that day, right? If we're predestined, right? If that is our lot, right? He's going to because in that, right, when all hell breaks loose, we're gonna be as pilgrims, right? Not just the remnant, but a lot of people, right? Because right, you're gonna have Coast Guard troops and uh, houses being looted, right? Checkpoints, military checkpoints. You can have certain roads cut off, like this, right? This I-95 collapse, right? It was collapsed because it was a test run to see how easily one could affect infrastructure, whether it be from an outside um, entity or from within, right? But it's all right to push this new world agenda, right? But it's really right to come further unto the day of the Lord, right? To bring right. This is the Lord stirring up the minds of the wicked and the minds of the righteous, right? Because the Lord is right stirring us up, right, to um right to go out and preach and do the sit downs, right? So what we're doing is what we're pitching doctrine now. We're prophesying. We're right. Our job is to expound on scripture, right? Go into the visions, make them known, and make them plain, right? But also, right, scrutinize and analyze these things that Esau Edom is doing on his end, right? Now let's keep
Any
on
rain
watching.
clouds that would otherwise wash out the smoke. This black smoke gets heated by sunlight, lofting it like a hot air balloon for up to a decade. High-altitude jet streams are so fast that it takes only a few days for the smoke to spread across much of the northern hemisphere. In the meantime, Earth gets freezing cold, even during the summer, with farmland in Kansas cooling by about 20 degrees centigrade, or 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and other regions cooling almost twice as much. A recent scientific paper estimates that over 5 billion people could starve to death, including around 99% of those in the United States.
This is why the scripture says that there shall be a hardly a man to till the earth, because all these things must be so, right? So those that are prophesying, those that are speaking the truth ultimately, right, we're going to be a target, right? Whether it be through demons sent forth, right, to vex you, or, right, now demons come in various forms. It could come in the form of men. It could come in the form of, right, particular, right, you may have night sweats. You may have nightmares, right? You may, right, whatever the case may be, they come in various forms, these spirits, right? Uh, right? Especially if you're out preaching His word, right? The adversary is going to attack your mind, play with your mind, you know, attack your health. But we've been galvanized, like Elder Yashawamba says from the Dallas camp, right? We've been galvanized to go out and speak these things. Why? Because like the wicked are stirred up. Now to the wicked it's just another day, right? Because the scripture says that they outwardly they bless, but inwardly they curse, right? Their tongue walks throughout the earth, which is it's business as usual for the wicked. But now, right, our hope is that we see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Which 2/3 of our people don't see, right? We see wickedness, right? So we know there's another uh there's another side to that. There's light. If you see darkness, there has to be light. We see that light. Our people see the darkness. They have no hope because they don't know what's going on. They don't know the scripture, right? So just like you have night and then you have day, right? We know that after the night there is a day coming, right? There is light right at the end of that night, right? But keep on looking.
Europe, Russia, and China. We obviously don't know how many people will survive a nuclear war. But if it's even remotely as bad as scientists think,
this is what's going to happen. This is why the Lord is going to create a new earth, because fire purges out these things, right? Fire is used to purge impurities when you melt particular metals, right? So this is what the Lord is doing, right? The remnant, which are going to, right? Now you have certain camps, they say, well, the scripture says that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven, right? Which means you got to die to receive spiritual power. That's not necessarily true, right? It just means your flesh has to be changed, right? Which it will be changed if your lot is to be delivered, you're going to be changed in that day, right? Because you got some camps saying, pushing that mindset that well, you're gonna die, you want to inherit, right? The kingdom of heaven. That means you have to die. Not necessarily, because the Lord is going to preserve. There's going to be a great deliverance. There has to be. If there's going to be a deliverance, then it means there's going to be those that are preserved, right? So our job is to not lose hope, because what the wicked right now they're saying, right? Well, our hand is high, right? But we're not there yet. We're not there. We're not at that culmination of we're right before the final act, right? So we're not necessarily right at that there's still particular scenes that have to play out. That's the issue, right? That our people don't realize that. Slakia. Our people don't realize that there has to be more things that have to play out, right? And then the elect will be delivered, right? And then once the nations are put into captivity, the elect are given spiritual power. We're going to breed the captives back into the earth, right? In hardcore captivity, but right, ultimately they're going to learn righteousness. Well, they're going to have to, right? Because they're not going to have a choice, right?
then it has no winners, merely losers. It's easy to feel powerless, but the good news is that there is something you can do to help. Please share this video, because the more people know about nuclear war, the less likely it is that we'll start one.
That has nothing to do with anything, because things that happen on earth, it has nothing to do with men, right? It's all of the Most High, right? Our thoughts are vain, our actions are vain, because ultimately they're driven by, right, a higher power, right? So let's just keep looking. Let's move on to the next headline. This is the video I was talking about, right? This looks like another, right, ritual, or right, looks like some kind of fire ritual, right? So Esau is gearing up, right? The nations are rebelling, right? Right, you got warlocks, you got all kinds of moes and hoes and harlots, and you got to keep in mind, right? Everyone is right in the know, right? Why? Because the gospel is out, the word is out, right? We're slowly but surely entering into perilous times, right? Now this may look like a riot, but what's up with the fireworks? What's up with this great fire in the middle, right? What kind of image are they trying to like make with this fire, right? These look like a ritual. This is from a Truth Seeker, Philadelphia toxic air.
Ongoing Canadian wildfires. Pittsburgh's Action News 4 reporter Tori Yorgi is outside right now. I know we've been keeping you safe back and forth because, Tori, you're not supposed to be outside very long.
And this could be another one of Esau's devices, right? Because he knows when people are out, they talk, right? They whisper, they talk amongst themselves, right? And the prophets are out, right? Right. This is all just Esau trying to keep people in. And why is it happening in America, Babylon the Great? Why? Because the prophecies are going to go out here in America, Babylon the Great. Right. So that could be another reason. It could be a certain chemical that he's putting in the air, right? It could be the Lord working his hand, right? Because we know, Salakia, I recently brought that out at camp. First Peter says that we would be afflicted, but also 2/3 in the world would be afflicted. So the Lord is fighting for us. He's going to fight for us one way or another, right? These are just warnings, right? Now, so we're not going to speculate any further. We're just going to keep watching and
right, Michelle. We're supposed to limit your time outdoors, and we have been going back and forth very quickly back to the truck as soon as we're done here on air, and that's what we'll continue to do throughout the morning. But I'm on Mount Washington, and I want to show you the skyline because I can't even show it to you, actually. You can't see it. That heavy fog plus the smoke coming in from those wildfires is just leaving us with this view that really is taking my breath away in other ways, I guess I could say, because it's just so crazy to me that I cannot see not one building or one light. But we want to get back to code red, okay? Code red means that the particle or air pollution concentrations are unhealthy for the general population, but especially for kids or seniors.
And you can look that up on this website if you want to check the air quality. Just go to airnow.gov. This is airnow.gov, right, which gives you a the air quality, current air quality. So now it's at code orange. Yesterday it was at code red. Right. This is the Maryland map. You got yellow, orange, green, right? Orange means people with heart or lung disease, older adults, children, and teens. Take any of these steps to reduce your exposure. Choose less strenuous activities like walking instead of running so you don't breathe as hard. Shorten the amount of time you are active outdoors. Be active outdoors when air quality is better, right? So you're not supposed to be active in this type of air outside, right? Let me just exit out of this, and this. Back to Twitter.
Seniors or even those with respiratory. And I want you to flip towards the back, and I want you to find the page that has the list of plastics and the numbers that are associated with them. All right, so 1 is using microwavable food trays, salad dressing, soft drinks, blah, 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 these things. It is hard to clean, absorbs bacteria and flavors, avoid reusing. 2 is often used in household cleaners, shampoo bottles, milk jugs, transmits no known chemicals into foods, yet they use it for detergent bottles. So this is used for our, like cleaners. This one.
Right, and speaking of cleaners and chemicals, right? There's certain things that chemicals in the hot weather, they do a thing which is called off gassing, right? If you brothers, right, want to look into that, right? Off gassing, just look it up. I'm not gonna look it up, but right, basically that chemical that is in a container, there's a I believe like it evaporates somehow, and it's called off gassing. Even right, certain household cleaners, if they're concentrated, right, and you spray them, and or maybe you put down right some kind of gloss on the floor, right, it's still after you it dries up, it's gonna off gas, meaning right, it's gonna release toxins into the air, right?
Is used for foods, and it, oh my god. So just to show you what I'm talking about here, that number right there, that's a 2. I mean, it continues on. The ones that had me just disgusted were these. 6. Used in water jugs, food containers, linked to heart disease and obesity. Avoid. Water bottle. Wouldn't you know? It's a 7. It's not just single-use plastic either. It's in everything. If this isn't your cue to stop using plastic, I don't know what is.
So she's saying use gas. I mean, Salakia, use glass. Glass jars or mason jars, right? Whatever you can get your hands on is more preferable, right? Now, Salakia, just bear with me. I think that's pretty much it. And go ahead and, Lord willing, do another video. Let's have something here that I take care of. Another thing you want to do, especially in the season, allergy season, is to, right, to have moisture in the air, right? Because your sinuses tend to get clogged up. And a lot of natural medicine practitioners, they say most of the diseases that you get or sicknesses comes from your sinuses being blocked, right? Now this is a latest headline. U.S. regulators have approved lab-grown meat, right?
Our country is falling apart.
Looks like this says fuck news, but it says Fox News.
Did you get my text? What do you think about that submarine?
Right, so there's 2 retweets, 4 likes. So.
While Americans have been distracted by a rich guy who got lost in a submarine, quietly in the shadows, U.S. regulators approved the sale of synthetic lab-grown meat to the American public. This is not a parody. This is not a joke. Let's get into it. In this article from the Associated Press titled, U.S. approves nation's first lab-grown meat, chicken made from animal cells, it talks about how 2 California companies got the approval to sell this shit to us. So I'm thinking to myself, who could be that powerful to convince U.S. regulators to sell us synthetic lab-grown meat? And it's none other than our good buddy, Billy Boy Blue, who's been the primary investor in companies that are trying out different synthetic meats for us to...
Bill Gates, lobbyists, right? Big company, right? America is a corporation, right?
enjoy. He's also one of the majority shareholders in Impossible Meats. So I'm thinking, this guy's just a computer wizard. He's not a nutritionist. He's not a scientist. Could he be after consolidating the food supply? I don't know. But what I do know is that Bill Gates is the largest private farmland owner in the United States. Not Jimbo, who comes from a long line of farmers, a tech billionaire. And you know what he's doing with this land? Nothing. Everything that was once growing on it, America, you should be very, very concerned right now with what is going on in the background while they keep flashing this billionaire who got lost in a submarine for the past few days.
Exactly, which is why you have so many Edomites speaking out. Now that could be a Jake. He kind of looks like a Jake, right? It's a little whitewashed, but
Non-stop. Do you know that they just caught 123 people on the terrorist watch list trying to cross the border in Mexico? Something big is coming, or else all of the media networks wouldn't have...
Yeah, something big is coming, right? You keep hearing that. Keep seeing the signs of the times. Yahushai HaMashiach, he spoke about what? You hypocrites, you can discern the skies and you see when foul weather is coming, but you cannot see, right, the sign of the times that we're in, right?
Agreed to show us this bullshit while our country is falling apart. Hey.
So in the Midwest, this is from TruthSeeker, Chicago pipeline break.
Do your due diligence. I promise you, you need to share the crap out of this for everybody. There's a gigantic...
And that's not a coincidence that, right, everyone's speaking in biblical terms, right? You got people, right, with beards now all of a sudden, right? People are just in the know, right? This is why we know it's time. It's that time, right?
Catastrophic gas line or gas break in the Chicago area. It's a hazmat 2 situation, and that's what we're seeing across our states. And there's a lot of people showing stuff on air quality, like up in Quebec. They don't have a problem with air quality up there right now, other than some few different parts. But this is what's going on. This has nothing to do with the wildfires in Quebec. Go check it out for yourself. Google Chicago gas line break. We're inhaling gas fumes. That's why it smells funny. It's chemical based, and there's something going on. It's giving people headaches. It's causing burning sensations. So, I mean, it's completely insane. So, do yourself a favor. Share this with everybody. because everybody needs to know what's happening. This ain't nothing to do with wildfires, man. People who are told that, you're just ignorant.
Sabotage of the masses, right? If you're not with the agenda, then you're an enemy against the agenda, right? Now, many are going to fall that are not in the know, but you have those that will be preserved that are going to, like Scripture says, who shall stand up for me against the evildoers, right? And, the Lord's work is greater than what our mind can even conceive. So, however it's being done, right, you're going to have those speaking out. But ultimately, if you receive this understanding, right, you got to go out and warn the people. No questions about that, right? But again, right, the Lord knows his own work, right? Like a potter knows how to form the clay, right? So our job is to, right, just ultimately hope for the best, right? Because that's all, right? Hope is the substance of things not seen, right? And like Scripture says, right, we're not to frustrate the grace that we have been given, because we're still here, right? We can still preach the word, right? Although we have the bread of adversity, right? The Lord has given the teachers, right, to not be removed anymore, because ultimately, right, the word is going out, right, at the end of the day, right?
Plain ignorant. Stop being told people. Go do your research yourself and find out what's going on. Pay attention to other TikTokers. People reporting this stuff. This is why they want TikTok banned in America. Because people keep reporting things instantly, and it's getting across to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people as fast, and the government can't shut it down. That's why they're trying to push for TikTok to be banned. Now, I agree that TikTok shouldn't be in any government facilities, but then again, that's why they want it there. Maybe I do want TikTok there. Either way, you're being lied to right now. This ain't nothing to do with smoke. This doesn't smell like a campfire. You ever smelled something burn from woods? It doesn't smell like chemical. Do yourself a favor. Share this with everybody. And share.
Doesn't smell like a campfire, that's for sure. Smells like a plastic fire. So Madonna, I'm not gonna click on that because that's really, these celebrities, they're off. They've been off. So right. Salakia, Madonna accused of child trafficking in Africa. Accused of social experiments. You can just read what's being posted here. And Ham has always been a tool, right, for Esau, for the Arabs, right? Ham's always been a tool, right? Ham's off, but he's been a tool, right? There's a reason why the land of Ham is in shambles, right? Now you got particular of them, right, living in good areas, right? You got, right, because the Arabs let them in, right, into particular places, and right, give some of them some status, right, which is good, right, because that's what ultimately that's of the Lord. But that these things are not going to last, right? America's Babylon the Great is going down, right, down the drain. These other countries, they have no choice but to rebel, to come with their own currency, right, to come with war, right? To gather together, right? So, right. It's just a shame because, right, if you're in the know, then you understand that there's an end to all these things, right? And the heathens, they see that as well, right? Esau sees it, we see it. 2/3 don't see it, right? Well, they do, but they just have no hope, right? Is from Daily Loud, Jamie Foxx still not himself, following mysterious health crisis, right? And there was a movie recently that before he got sick, he participated in. I believe it's called. Um, let's just look it up. See if we can look it up real quick. Fair use, fair use. Right, this is for educational purposes. Right. I believe it's something along the lines of cloning Tyrone. I think I played a video on that before. They cloned Tyrone.
Everything okay in there, baby?
I'm just an average man with an average life.
Where the money at? I'm an entrepreneur. I work in the spirit of the pimp game.
You know your girl gotta know what's going
Come out right.
Everything okay in there, baby?
I'm just an average.
Damn.
Everything okay in there, baby?
I'm just an average man with an average life.
Where the money at? I'm an entrepreneur. I work in the spirit of the pimp game.
You know your girl gotta know what's going on in these streets. That's a car right there. This bitch.
Slick, come on. That make your spidey senses tingle. What about that shit it says?
Like I'm in the twilight zone now.
Don't let the back door hit you.
We gotta go.
I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me.
So they run into some kind of cloning facility and they freak out.
Somebody is conducting experiments on us.
It's that fucking chicken.
The shit in everything.
Great try. Come the fuck. Go. It's our homeland. We don't do nothing about it. Nobody will.
Right, so that's pretty much it. Right, Esau is just putting his agenda out there. Right? He's letting Jake know, I'm coming for you. Right? But the Lord is coming. The Lord has got your ass already, you fucking devil. Right? The Lord is coming for your ass. And you heathens. Right? Can eat a you know what. Right? Because guess what? The Lord of hosts is for us. Right? If God be for us, who can be against us? But at the end of the day, right, you heathens, you're drunk with power. Mainly Esau, right? Because he has what? The infrastructure, the armies, right? And he's one step ahead of you heathens at the end of the day. Right? We're gonna show you, right? Because you got artificial intelligence, right? You got Wi-Fi, radio waves. Esau understands all these things, right? Um, this is from The Punisher. Let's look at this video.
Spirits are crushed.
Riziki says most of this farm looks like it's been under a chemical.
Our top story tonight, a farmer in Jones says that someone destroyed over 2 acres of his crops overnight.
Fox 25's David Chasanoff joins us live from Riziki Farms, where this happened. So, David, how did this all go down?
Wayne and Wendy, Michael Riziki says someone sprayed something on his crops, something he says he believes could cost him his entire business.
My spirits are crushed.
Riziki says most of his farm looks like it's been under a chemical attack.
Devastated right now because everything that I've worked for the last several months, 16 to 20-hour days, everything, I've given up everything, all my freedoms for this farm should be upright like this, and you're seeing the top, these leaves, but they've all just laid over.
All of his sacrifices vanished overnight after Riziki says someone sprayed something over his crops.
Messing with me is one thing. Messing with my customers who happen to be my friends, I take it very personally, and it's more than wrong. It's disgraceful.
His farm feeds more than 100 families every week, but now just about every crop on his property is curled up and dying, if not already dead.
I feel like I could have lost the trust in all my customers for the future. So, whether or not I can salvage this season or not, I'm just not certain that my position as a farmer and in my career choice.
His farm feeds more than 100 families every week, but now just about every crop on his property is curled up and dying, if not already dead.
I feel like I could have lost the trust in all my customers for the future. So, whether or not I can salvage this season or not, I'm just not certain that my position as a farmer and in my career choice is going to be in question at this point.
Riziki says what happened could cost him anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 of business.
As far as giving up, I'll never give up. We're just going to do with the farm what we can right now at this point and try to make it better from this point on.
This is from True Seeker. Right, going into how Jamaica will be going fully digital.
Regarding the acceleration announcements, regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the national identification system. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving very quickly, very rapidly to become digital. Our bank.
Now, this guy on the right, he looks like a so-called black man. But Esau likes to set up rulers, governors that look like Jake, but they're not really, they're terrorists. Right? Let's keep watching.
Banking consumers are seeing it as well because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have something now called artificial intelligence. Very soon, this position of a human being exchanging cash and so on, that is going to disappear from the banking system very soon. And you are going to have to interface with machines. I don't want it to be a scary thought, but it is a thought that we all have to embrace.
This is from TruthSeeker. AI turns Wi-Fi routers into cameras.
As the radio signals, so sonar from a camera looking at a space with people in it. A camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, like, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D posing.
So this just shows how Wi-Fi radio signals can be turned into cameras that can sense people through walls or individually through rooms by these wave signals. Not necessarily being able to see through walls, but being able to sense individually where people are in these various rooms, right?
Destination, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings. What they did is they had, a camera.
It's from Shamai Ba Amataza. Bill Gates releases millions of killer mosquitoes into Florida and Texas. Just by coincidence, months later, there is a malaria outbreak.
Do this, but when people hear genetically modified mosquitoes,
now malaria is, of course, transmitted by mosquitoes. I brought some here so you could experience this. We'll let those roam around the.
In 2021, when they do this, but when people hear genetically modified mosquitoes, 750 million of them being released in the Florida Keys. It's a one-time thing. It drops the population down, and things continue. Right. It's a way of killing exactly who you want to kill.
Now, this research has been going on for years. As we can see here in a 2017 article, mosquitoes are the new syringe ? Seattle lab nibbles at malaria vaccine.
I got this story out of the New York Post. Microsoft founder Bill Gates is pouring over $4 million into a project to create
Killing exactly who you want to kill, right? Think about that. So Esau Edom, he knows your genetic makeup. He knows how you react to things. Right? All this is one big social experiment. Right? Is that it? Is from Ultra MG Truth. Confirmed formaldehyde and benzene are in the smoke coming from Canada.
Here it is. Here we are. I'm going to let the images load. You can see this morning. It's clear. Just partly cloudy skies. Nothing really crazy going on there. And then, well, here's last night. Here's today. All of southeast Quebec just caught on fire, guys. All of it. Insane. Insane.
Angry Beekeeper here. You guys know you're breathing poison right now, right? I walked out of my house this morning and I smelled burning plastic. So I got to Google right away and I looked, where is this plastic fire. Well, there was no gigantic plastic fire. What we are smelling is the smoke from northern Ontario and northern Quebec, the forest fires. Now, what is happening? That wood smoke is going up into the atmosphere, and it's mixing with water. Ultraviolet radiation from the sun is causing chemical processes to turn it into formaldehyde and benzene. Yes, I said formaldehyde. We all know what they use that for. And benzene causes cancer at 4 parts per billion. I typically like to make TikToks and spread love and joy and prance around and talk about bees and all things good, but I'm sorry guys, this TikTok is not about that. The best we can do is stay in our homes with the windows shut, run your air conditioners. That's all I got, guys.
Harmful. Barely see it here. Serious. This is what they claim is from wildfires, which is horseshit. The amount of formaldehyde in the air in Michigan, it's on the serious level. Like, we're talking like dangerous here. And it's just going up. I mean, this can cause huge issues.
It's from Insane Reality Leaks. Strange creature. Blanket Octoputhe. The mysterious creature known as the blanket octopus has been captured. It is believed to dwell in the deep ocean and open sea. However, in certain cultures, encountering them near the beach is considered an ominous sign because the head is looks a little bit red. Just like the blood moon, right? So this is an ominous sign, right? Keep that in mind. You got rappers bugging out. You got Jake releasing the power of Wakanda. You got the France riots. We are being poisoned. This isn't from wildfire smoke, literally poison. Salakia. This is from No Jumper. Woman is going viral for burying her mother in her backyard, which is off. Looks like something Simeon will do. You got drama with these rappers, right? We don't give a damn about that, right? Bill Gates, genetically modified mosquitoes. You can look that handle up and look up the post yourself. Got Eve blaspheming in these last days. You got Esau rebelling against Esau. That looks like.
Assistance level
2. Let's see if we got any more headlines, right? Jake going off. Jaden Smith says Jada introduced family to psychedelics. 15 full vaccinated players unable to finish the Miami Open. Facial recognition takes over Portland convenience stores. Salakia. You got Shedamites getting butt naked at Elamite plays. This is from Rapa Araya. 4 types of people tell the truth: Israelites, drunks, kids, and angry people. Right? Which is true. Daily Loud. Breaking: Madonna was found unresponsive over the weekend. Was rushed to ICU. Right? She's probably going through a midlife crisis. Carnival ride malfunctions in India. It's kind of funny. Evacuations underway at Supreme Court's front steps following discovery of suspicious package. This is from Shamai Ba'amataza. Video of a train full of military armor and other equipment has moved to Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And we don't know if that's true or not, according to the source, but right, we gotta keep watching. Right. We got Eve. I don't know. That might be a Edomite or a Hamite. Hello, Christ. I'm about to sin again and say I love you to that man, but I'm not feeling him. It's just blasphemy, right? Whether it's done in good intentions or not, either blasphemy or it's sacrilege, meaning a misuse of holy things, right? Carmelo Anthony knows he's an Israelite. This is kind of old because...
Let's talk about it. We could talk about the 12 tribes of Israel, who was the chosen people. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. We could talk about the original man. We could. I'm ready to talk about this all day.
Right. So are we, through the power of Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yoshai, Bashim Kakodash, right? Eve is flabby and sick in this captivity, right? Well, some of them, you know, are just fucked up in the head. A lot of them. I think that's pretty much it. Residents in city of Nago on the island of Okinawa, Japan, awoke Tuesday to find an area of unusually clear blue water had turned into a gruesome shade of red. Probably reeds or reefs. Sea reefs or sea reeds. Or sea algae. And this from Insider Paper. Chicago air quality at unhealthy levels due to smoke from Canadian wildfires. Right. The sign of the times. Jamaican artist Sizzla knows he's an Israelite.
So Jamaica is a very educated island, yeah?
So the Lord said he would declare, he would bring about new things.
And Jamaican people, you are the Hebrew Israelites. Hebrew Israelites. Study up them things there. We will be incarnate as a reservoir of knowledge. Don't use it for propaganda. Use it to educate yourself. Use being incarnate to get to know that at school. Where you have to pay so much money for. It's never to clean up things. I'm not down again. This is so nice.
This is why Esau oppresses Southern Kingdom the most, because they're the smartest at the end of the day. They know better, but right, they know something's not right, right. So, but 2/3, they're not going to see that light at the end of the tunnel, right? They love Esau's world, right? The spirit kind of jumped on Benjamin right there. But like you see down here, 666 views. That's spiritual. That's the name of, that's the number of the man's name, Esau. 2/3, right? Benjamin is still kind of, right? He's got it, but he doesn't, right? Just like the other Northern Kingdom or Southern Kingdom. You got the BET Awards, right? Which is owned by Esau. You got sellouts bigging up the coons. So that's pretty much it. With that, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Mekakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Lord willing, you ratified. Shalom.